Hello, Southern California, and welcome to this week's episode of Right on the Money with Tom Mosley, brought to you by the team of Mosley Wealth Management. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and here with me is Tom Mosley. He is the founder and president, and today's show is going to be all about the implications of choosing to work longer. Are you trying to decide if you want to work longer than what traditional retirement age has been? If so, these are some of the things that you're going to need to think about. Tom, my friend, great to be back with you. As always.
So good to be with you always.
Well, I'm excited for this conversation. I know it's been coming up a lot in your appointments because a lot of folks are choosing to work longer, and to stay in the workforce even 1 or 2 years beyond when they thought they might retire can make a big impact. But with that decision comes some important financial implications as well.
Yeah, I mean, so many people are working in their 70s, okay? A recent survey said 43% of all the people in their 70s have some kind of gainful employment where they're actually getting paid. So, and there are a lot of reasons. I think sometimes there are a lot of reasons that are needful reasons, that are necessity reasons.
Right.
And I think there's sometimes there's some reasons people are working in their 70s and they just don't have the right plan that gives them the confidence to say, hey, I can retire and I can have confidence that I'm not going to run out of money the rest of my life. The number one fear.
Right, for sure. Well, it's almost like needing permission and being able to be shown that, yes, it's okay for you to go ahead and retire. But I think it is interesting. Traditionally, folks didn't really have retirement to think about. Because if we look back at our grandparents' generation, you know, it used to be people worked until age 62 and then were passing away as early as age 65. There wasn't this long span of time to plan for. Well, now someone could easily retire at 65 and live another 30 years. That's another working career lifetime, if you will. And not that, you know, we always say if someone goes back to work or choose to work longer, ideally it's because they want to do that, not because you have to do that. But to your point, some people are choosing for other reasons other than money to keep working.
Yeah, my grandfather passed away in 1988, and he was 95 years old.
Wow.
And nobody his age or anywhere close to his age was at the funeral. His friends had all gone before him because it was really unusual for somebody to live that long at that point.
Right.
But now, if you look at the newspaper, and that's that paper thing that we used to get delivered on our doorstep, if you read that or you get online and you look at the obituary columns, it's amazing how long people are living, and they're choosing to work longer for lots of reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's get into that. So obviously, one of the top reasons why folks do continue working longer, you mentioned it already, is financial necessity.
Financial necessity. It's historical right now that people who are retiring have not saved as much money as they should in almost all cases. Fidelity did a study not too long ago, about 6 years ago now as I recall, and that study said that the average person who's 55 years of age in America, 58% of those people who are 55 have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. I had a gentleman, he was an engineer, of course, who was in my office a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I did extensive research on this, and the average person, 60 years of age, this is his extensive research, has only $71,000 in their 401k. Pretty average, pretty normal. So if you're doing better than that, give yourself a pat on the back, because you are doing well. So a lot of people are still working, and it's just flat out financial necessity.
Right.
They have to have the money. They haven't saved enough. And then not only are they living longer, not only are we as individuals living longer, but our parents are living longer. I recently had a couple that have been working with me for probably 10 years. And he's 76, she's 73. They were in for their 6-month checkup, and we were talking, and she kept looking at her watch. She kept looking at her watch. And finally I said, Sue, do you guys have someplace to go? Because we're friends at this point. And she said, yeah. And remember, 76 and 73, she said, we've got to go take care of his parents. Because his parents were 96 and 93, 20 years older than they were, and they've got to go take care of them. They're still alive. They're still there. So that idea of financial necessity and having it, and what do we don't have now as much, diminishing, soon to be an extinct category there, is pensions.
Right.
You know? And there was a time where 47% of all workers, and because of so many single earning households, 63% of all household adults were covered by a pension, either their own or their spouse's pension. Now it's down to 16%. So we were almost 2/3 of the people 60 years ago were covered by a pension, and now we're down to 1 out of 6. So guess what? The pension gives you a guaranteed income for as long as you live, and if you take it the right way, for as long as your spouse lives. Poof. Gone. You know, they do this show in LA I've talked about before called Things That Aren't There Anymore.
Right.
They should do part of that on pensions. You know, because poof, they're gone. They're not there anymore. So that financial necessity of taking care of the kids, taking care of the grandkids, taking care of the grandparents, taking care of the parents, all of those things, you're in that financial vortex. So you just decide to keep working. You don't have enough money. And the saddest thing though, is people keep working because they don't have a plan.
Yes, because they think that they can't afford not to.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I've said on this show so many times before, my why for doing this, okay, I could retire. The word retirement, I'm like a 2 generation ago type person, because the word retirement doesn't enter this brain, because I'm going to work as long as I'm here, because I really do enjoy what I do. And my biggest enjoyment comes, and I just saw this past week, my biggest enjoyment comes from sitting down across the table from somebody, a couple in this case, and this couple have $4.9 million. They've got money to start their fireplace with $100 bills, you know? They've got the money, but they were concerned that they were gonna run out of money. And my biggest excitement about doing this job is when I can sit down with somebody and build a real financial plan for them, and they get it, and they understand, and they go, my why is the sigh to make sure that people know that they're never going to run out of money the rest of their life. But so many people are, the saddest thing is they're still working, and it's hindering their health.
Yep.
It's ruining their go-go years when they've got enough money to go and enjoy and do, but they're still working, and so they're encumbered by that job and they can't get out and go do the things. My why is to give them that ability to have the confidence to know they're not going to run out of money. Go enjoy your go-go years. You've got a financial plan in place.
Yeah, that sigh of relief is priceless, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Well, one of the other benefits to someone maybe not working indefinitely, but every situation is different, even just 1 or 2 years, that can actually reduce the amount of time and years of your drawdown. So let's talk about that, reducing the drawdown years and what you mean by that.
Okay. A lot of people right now are wanting to retire, and they're coming to us and they're retiring from our radio show and our TV show and the events that we do, and they're coming to us and they say, I'm 53 years old, I want to retire. And so we build a portfolio for them. We build a retirement blueprint for them exactly the way we would for somebody if they said, I'm 63 or I'm 73 and I want to retire. But if you retire and you're 53 or 55, you put a lot more stress. Here's what I mean. You can access, there's a way to access your 401k, not your IRAs, but your 401k when you're 55. But if you're going to live till you're 95, you're going to have a 40-year drawdown on that 401k. So, you know, you've got to have the goods. You've got to have some things in place. You've got to have, like we talked about on a previous show, that generational wealth that you've built, and you've built that portfolio to where it should be because you've got a long drawdown. So, okay, well, I like that. Let me wait till I'm 60. Same thing, you just got 5 years less. Let me wait till I'm 65. Well, the good news is you can get on Medicare, so your medical is going to be taken care of, and that's pretty much the old normal age. But the longer you wait, the good thing that it does for you is it does put less pressure on your assets because you don't have to start drawing down on them sooner. So when is the best time for you? I don't know. That's what we determine when we build a retirement blueprint. Some of you are out there and you're wondering, and you could retire at 53, but you need a plan. And you could retire at 55. But guess what? You need a plan. You could wait till you're 60. You may have to work until you're 65, or you may Go ahead and work into your 70s. But you need a plan if you're going to work longer. You need a plan at whatever case. Don't work longer because you think you're going to run out of money. Get a plan. It might allow you to retire even earlier.
I'm excited for so many more folks as a result of today's show to reach out, connect with you, be able to come in and do that complimentary retirement blueprint, because maybe these are questions you've been asking yourself. Maybe you've been wondering, can I go ahead and retire? If I make that decision, am I going to be okay? There is such a peace of mind that can come when you can see it on paper and have the certainty and the confidence to know that you're on track and you are going to be okay. So if that is something that you would like to claim for yourself, we encourage you to call the number you see on your screen, 866-709-1462, and schedule a time to come in and receive your very own complimentary retirement blueprint from Tom and the team of 𝗪cie Wealth Management. You can also get connected by taking out your smartphone, and if you open up that camera app, you can point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from 𝗪cie Wealth Management will reach out and connect with you to schedule your complimentary visit that way as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to talk about on today's show regarding the financial impact of working longer. Stay with us.
Welcome to Right on the Money Moment. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Tom Mosley of 𝗪cie Wealth Management. And Tom, I have a very important question for you. The importance of proper holistic retirement planning. Why is that important to folks in the viewing audience today to plan properly for retirement?
It's a great question. A lot of people come in and they talk to us and I ask them, I said, do you have a financial plan? And they'll hand me a 401k statement, or they'll hand me a 403b statement or an IRA account. Now those accounts are great, don't get me wrong. That's like the lumberyard that you use and put together in a retirement blueprint to build a plan. But if you don't have a written plan, you're hoping things work out. If you've got all of your money left in the market like you did when you were 25, 30, 35, 40 years of age, that's where it should be. But if you've got all of your money left in the market in retirement, you've got hope as a plan. Hope the market doesn't go down. Hope I'm still able to draw money out. I have a group of friends that we travel with at least 1 week a year, and we go somewhere, and we're planning next year to go to 𝗪cie. We've got our Airbnb. We've got what we're going to do each day. We've got a rental vehicle. We know where we're going to be, when we're going to be, and we've got it written down. If we want to alter what we do one day, guess what? You can alter it.
Yes.
But if you don't have the plan, you're just all over the place. You're hoping we're going to go up there, find a hotel, maybe we can get a rental car. If not, we might have to take Uber in 𝗪cie. I don't know if that'll work. So you say, well, that's sort of silly. Well, it's sort of silly to go into a 20-year retirement and to spend less time preparing for it than you will on a 2-week vacation somewhere to Europe, or maybe a 1-week vacation to 𝗪cie. So it's really important that people have a written financial plan when they get to retirement.
Tom, thank you so much for such amazing advice. To our viewers at home, you need a plan. You heard it from Tom. Take care.
Welcome back, Southern California. You're watching Right on the Money with Tom Mosley. He is the founder and president of 𝗪cie Wealth Management, based right here in Southern California. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley. We are talking today about the financial impact of choosing to work longer than what traditional retirement age has been. Tom, it's important. We need to talk about the impact that working longer can have on one's Social Security. So let's get into it. I know that this is something that you and your entire team are really specialists on, is the subject of Social Security. Obviously, there's implications when someone chooses to work beyond traditional retirement age.
Yeah, you're right. Our entire staff is trained by the National Social Security Advisors Alliance, and we take a modulated course. I think there are 19 modules each year to keep us up to date with Social Security, because it's 40% of the average retiree's income. Now, working longer, up until 70, could help you build your Social Security. After you turn 70, when you turn 70, go ahead and take it. I've had people come in and they've said, you know, I'm not sure I want to take my Social Security because it would just be extra income to get taxed on. And I jokingly say, go ahead and take it and give it to me. I'll pay your taxes because you're going to make money off of it. It's not going to get any better after 70, and you're just going to lose out on all of that time. So you need to turn Social Security on when you turn 70, even if you're still working.
Right, if you haven't yet already.
Right.
And of course, after you reach your full retirement age, if you are still working, the good news is if you go ahead and take your Social Security, you're not going to be penalized and have to give some of it back if you make too much.
Right. If you try to retire at 53 and you say, well, I'm going to turn my Social Security on at 62, and you turn it on and you say, well, you know, I think I'll go back and get a job, and you make $100,000 a year. Basically, you're going to give all your Social Security back. So a lot of things about Social Security. You can't really get advice at the Social Security Administration. They'll even tell you that. I had a lady in one of my seminars in Irvine recently told me, she said, yeah, I work for the Social Security Administration. We're not allowed to give advice. We can only give out information. We do give advice because we do study it, we understand it. We're not with the Social Security Administration, but we can give you advice as to the options you have. And also, don't think if you stop work early, we're talking about working longer, but if you stop work early, you're still going to get those numbers that it shows from 62 to 70, because that's based on your continuing to work until those ages. So a lot of things about Social Security. Here's the biggest thing in this show, though. If you're 70, go ahead and turn it on.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and turn it on.
Yeah, because there's no benefit to waiting. The amount of the check will not go up from there.
Correct.
Well, also, we need to talk about the impact on those RMDs, required minimum distributions. Talk about how working longer could impact those.
Well, if you're 70, turn on your Social Security. If you're 73, where the rest of the world has to turn on required minimum distributions, if you're still working for a company and you're 73 plus and your money is saved in a 401k, you don't have to take distributions from an active 401k. Any dormant 401ks, any IRAs, any of those kind of things, you do have to take money out of those at 73. That's the age for right now. But if you're working, I had a lady recently, about a week ago, came in. She's 76 years old. And I was talking to her and just asking about RMDs, and she said, well, I'm still working. And all of my money's in my 401k at work, so she has not taken any RMDs legally, no penalty, no excise penalty, any of that legally, because she's still working and contributing to that 401k, even though she's well past the age of 73.
And I'm so glad that you made that distinguishing comment, because I think a lot of folks have, if we've talked on the show before, have forgotten about old 401ks. Maybe you have a bunch of different IRAs. And the problem is, if you don't take RMDs from the accounts that you are required to take them from, you are going to be hit with an additional 25% penalty from the IRS on top of the tax that you owe. So that's an important distinction between if it's an active 401k, like you said, versus those old accounts.
But they will send you at Christmas a really nice box of chocolates. No, they don't. They don't send you anything.
And say, thank you for paying us more money,
They don't even
right?
say thank you. They really don't. It's an excise penalty of 25%. This is just one of the things. Now, okay, 5 kids, 1 boy, lots of friends over, multiple holes in the wall in my house, okay? I can fix the holes in the wall. All right? And I can I can go to Home Depot, I can get the plaster, I can put the stuff on it, and forever there's a memorial to that hole in the wall because you can still see it. All right? But I've got a friend who runs a company that I found about 10 years ago, and now when we get a hole in the wall from one of our kids or grandkids, we call up Mike. Mike comes over, and in about 4 hours, poof, the hole in the wall is gone because he's a professional.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. 401ks, all right? Not having to take RMDs out of them at 73 if you're still working. Social Security, going ahead and turning it on if you turn 70. What do I do if I take it when I'm 62? Do I have to pay a penalty? All of these are things that a professional knows how to do. And that's how we bring value to our clients, by looking at their particular situation and making sure that you're on track for you. Don't listen to Bubba the plumber or Bob at the water cooler or Telly in the teacher's lounge. Don't listen to all of them give you advice on financial planning. They're all telling you the truth for their situation. You need to get advice for your situation. And there's a lot of things, if you're continuing to work into your 70s, you need to know the levers to pull and the levers you don't have to pull until just the right time for you.
Well, and this is why there is no substitute for sitting down in the financial planning environment, looking at all these different pieces of your own financial puzzle and figuring out how they need to fit together for you. Here's the beautiful thing about getting your complimentary personalized retirement blueprint. It's yours. It's specific to you and your situation. So to claim yours, we encourage you to call that number you see there on the bottom of your screen, 866-709-1462. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. More with Tom here at Right on the Money after this.
Have you ever considered refinancing your retirement? When interest rates are low, you might be able to refinance your home, your car loan, even your credit card rates, because it could help you keep more money each month. Yet, when the interest rates go up, it might make sense to refinance your retirement. Higher interest rates could provide you with income opportunities that you might not be aware of. What works for your portfolio during low interest rates may not work for you when interest rates are high. Find out if a retirement refi could work better for you. Give us a call today and schedule a complimentary Refi Your Retirement review.
Welcome back to Right on the Money with Tom Mosley. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley. We are discussing today the financial impact of working longer, meaning working beyond when traditional retirement age has been. You know, Tom, a couple other things that come to mind. Obviously, that helps folks often maintain their health care coverage, right?
Right.
It can also help them keep up with the pace of inflation, which is on the forefront of everyone's minds. Let's talk about that briefly.
Big word. If you're on a fixed income, and you were on a fixed income 3 years ago and you're still on that same flat fixed income, think about this. If this was January 1st of 2020 and this was December 31st of 2020, your fixed income would pay all the bills. With 25+% up in food, with a 19% increase in inflation over the past 3.5 years, your money, that same amount of money, is only going to last you till about October the 15th of this year. You're going to be short. And so a lot of people, and they've come in, our clients have come in sometimes, and they're on a budget, and we put them on a budget. They've got a drip coming out of their retirement. We always ask, do you have enough income? And a lot of times they've told us, oh yeah, we've got enough income. Our checking account is still good. But we've gone deeper than that, because we ask people, are your savings diminishing? A lot of times they say, oh yeah, our savings are down in the past 2 or 3 years because we normally keep that emergency fund of $25,000 or $30,000 and it's down to $15,000. Or are your credit card balances going up? Because what's happening is a lot of people are passing on the impact of inflation to a drawdown on their savings or their emergency fund or a buildup in their credit cards. So therefore, it's like that silent killer. It's like high blood pressure is to you physically. They call it the silent killer. Right. Inflation is the silent killer. So a lot of people are realizing that and they say, I need to pick up a part-time job. I need to go back to work. I need to continue to earn money. That's why 43% of the people, as we said earlier, who are in their 70s are still earning income. Could be a good thing. It could take pressure off of your retirement plan. It could be a bad thing too, because it could put pressure on your health. It could put pressure on you in what we call the go-go years, where you're not able to go because you've got a job that you're holding down. And if you don't really have a plan, the hope plan is in effect for a lot of people. Let me just leave my money in the market and hope And by the way, Kristen, we haven't really had a downturn in a couple of years, and we've only had one really good year of downturn in the past 14 or 15 years. So if your hope plan is put all your money in the market the way it's always been for 45 or 50 years and hope that the market doesn't bite you, doesn't come down on you, doesn't hurt you, it's a terrible plan for retirement.
Yep.
Because when you're drawing out and the market's down 50% over what it was or what it has been, you have to draw out twice as many shares to get the same amount of dollars. So it's really important that you have a real plan, even if you're working past 70. But you've really got to be careful for inflation. You say, well, you might, if I come and talk to you, I might find out I might need to go back to work. Wouldn't it be nice to find that out before it was too late? Wouldn't it be nice to know that you don't have to work before it's too late? Inflation can kill you.
Absolutely. Well, we also need to talk about the tax implications, and I really appreciate that. I feel like that you've given a really good balanced discussion on some of the pros of working longer, some of the benefits, also some of the things to be aware of. What do folks need to really be aware of from a tax perspective when they choose to work longer?
Well, I've had a guy in my office last week, again. All I have to do on this show is come in and talk about
all the people
that
you're
came
meeting
in
with,
in the
right?
last week, because
Yeah.
they give me so many great illustrations. This guy's 73 years old. He's retired from the armed services. He then got a job with a company, retired from them, has a pension from both of them. Now, he doesn't need to work. He doesn't have to work. He realizes he doesn't have to work, but he can't stay home. That's something we haven't talked about. A lot of people are working just because, like my neighbor said one time, in his middle 70s, and he's going to work at the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, and he says, yeah, Tom, there's only so much grass you can cut, hedges you can edge, and those kind of things. But this guy was in last week, and he said, oh my goodness, we got our taxes. It's his first year working with us. He said, we just got our taxes. It's the first tax report we've seen after he started to work with us.
Right.
He said, I've got a pension from the armed services, a pension from the company. I've got Social Security. My wife has Social Security, and she has a little pension from when she worked. And now I'm out here working. I'm giving it all back in taxes. So you got to be careful on something like that. Maybe your job needs to be guaranteed, needs to be a volunteer job, needs to be something that is necessarily paying you income. Hey, you want to get some real solid things in place and know whether you have to work when you're in your 70s. And if you do, the right way to do it, we can build you a retirement blueprint that's specifically for you, that'll give you the parameters as to what's best for you.
Tom, thank you so much. Always so insightful, and I appreciate your wise advice, and I'm excited for more folks to connect with you as a result of today's show. And so if you would like to connect with Tom and the team of 𝗪C Wealth Management, again, all you need to do is pick up the phone and call. Wouldn't you like to have the answers that you need to your individual financial situation? You are just one phone call away. 866-709-1462. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we look forward to being back with you next week here at Right on the Money with Tom Mosley.